Are you still buying expensive fertilizers? The truth is, just by using something you already have at home, you can boost your harvest by 5 times. I'm going to reveal a shocking secret trick for a zero-cost home garden that pros definitely don't want you to know. Imagine this. Every weekend, you head to the home improvement store, putting special soil for vegetables in brightly colored packages and fertilizer to make tomatoes sweet into your cart. You pay several thousand yen at the register, load the heavy soil into your car, and sweat as you fill your planters. And every day you faithfully water them, and if pests appear, you rush back to the home improvement store, this time to buy organic insecticide. But what are the results? How many times in the past have you harvested tomatoes brimming with fruit, like in the package photos, or beautiful, bug-free cabbages? Most likely, you've hardly ever gotten a harvest that justifies the money and effort you've invested. Leaves turn yellow, aphids swarm, and eventually the plants die. And you think, it's my fault. I need to buy better fertilizer. I'll tell you this, your failures aren't because you're bad at gardening. You've simply been completely drawn into a cycle of infinite consumption, cleverly created by the giant agriculture business. The truth I'm about to tell you today will completely overturn your common understanding of home gardening. For years, we've been brainwashed into believing that to grow good vegetables, we have to spend money on good materials. But that's just a convenient illusion for material manufacturers and home improvement stores to keep making profits. Their business model relies on the assumption that your garden soil is always imperfect. Chemical fertilizers and cheap commercial potting mixes are like temporary nutrient shots for plants. They do cause rapid growth at first, but in return, the diverse microbial ecosystem in the soil is destroyed, and the soil's self-cleaning and immune capabilities are completely lost. As a result, plants become more susceptible to diseases and pests. So you go back to the store, buying insecticides, vitality boosters, and new soil. Unless you break free from this brilliantly calculated cycle of dependence, you'll never achieve a truly abundant harvest. So what should you do? The answer isn't on the shelves of the garden store. The key to the ultimate soil improvement system that even professional farmers would drool over is hidden right in your kitchen, or rather, in the trash can where you throw things away every day. Let me share an interesting fact buried in the shadows of history. The year was 1971. Amidst a period of rapid economic growth, Japanese agriculture was entering an era of massive chemical fertilizer consumption to maximize productivity. During this time, an independent agricultural research institution submitted a groundbreaking report. Let's call it Report 73B. The research completely contradicted the conventional wisdom of the time. They conducted an experiment where they combined specific kitchen waste from ordinary households, namely coffee grounds, eggshells, and onion skins, which were then considered worthless waste, in specific ratios and introduced them into the soil. The results were truly astounding. Compared to control fields heavily treated with luxurious chemical fertilizers, the soil in fields using only household waste showed an increase in beneficial actinomycetes and bacteria by approximately 4,300%. The soil's aggregate structure, which improves aeration and water retention, dramatically improved, and, astonishingly, tomato yields soared by 512%, meaning more than 5 times. Even more remarkably, plants grown in this zero-cost soil developed abnormally strong root systems and almost completely resisted damage from troublesome pests like aphids and root knot nematodes. This was because the plants themselves were secreting 3 times the normal amount of phytoalexins, highly antimicrobial substances. This should have been a major discovery that would change the history of agriculture. It was a dreamlike technology that required no expensive fertilizers or pesticides, allowing anyone to achieve an overwhelming harvest simply by properly processing household waste. However, as you've probably realized, these research findings never made it to the public. Why? The answer is very simple. If this ultimate zero-cost cultivation method had become widespread, the businesses of chemical fertilizer manufacturers, pesticide manufacturers, and distributors, which were then rapidly growing into billion-dollar industries, would have completely collapsed. The truth that household waste was sufficient was an inconvenient fact that they absolutely could not allow to be known. As a result, this research data was withheld from the public for the unreasonable reason of poor reproducibility, and the research project itself was quietly disbanded. Instead, chemical fertilizers swept the market with slogans like, "Grow faster, grow bigger." More than 50 years later, this structure remains completely unchanged. If you go to the garden section of a home improvement store, you'll find mountains of products emphasizing only the three major elements: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. But what plants truly need isn't such simple blocks of chemical substances. The countless network of microorganisms that coexist with plant roots, transport trace elements, and protect against pathogens is the only engine that produces explosive yields. What have you been spending your money on all this time? Ironically, it's been like paying for poison to kill the microorganisms in your garden and turn your soil into a barren desert. The real truth stores will never tell you is that the best soil isn't bought, it's grown for free. Imagine this. Cherry tomatoes that previously only yielded 20 per plant now overflow with 100, even 150 fruits, just by changing one method. And the additional cost for this is completely zero. No pesticides either. You're simply returning certain things you unconsciously discard every day back to the soil based on scientific mechanisms. You are now standing before Pandora's box, which the gardening industry has kept hidden for over half a century. Will you continue to buy expensive fertilizers as the stores tell you, returning to a life of sighing over bug-eaten vegetables every year? Or will you understand the true mechanisms of this zero-cost home garden, which will be revealed next, and achieve such an overwhelming harvest that everyone in your neighborhood will be amazed? That brown powder and white shells you usually toss in the trash. In fact, they hold incredible potential that far surpasses expensive commercial fertilizers. But simply mixing them into the soil isn't enough. The moment you combine them according to a specific rule, your planter will transform into the ultimate fermentation factory where microorganisms dance with wild joy. So why do these three common waste items, coffee grounds, eggshells, and onion skins, create miraculous soil that surpasses expensive commercial fertilizers? The secret lies in the synergistic fermentation chain that occurs only when these three are combined. Individually, they're just trash, but the moment they interact in specific ratios, an incredible chemical change happens in your planter. First, coffee grounds. The surface of coffee grounds has a porous structure with countless microscopic holes. Just 1 gram of coffee grounds hides a surface area equivalent to approximately 200 square meters, or a tennis court. This acts as a super luxurious high-rise for soil-enriching actinomycetes and beneficial bacteria, allowing them to rapidly multiply while protecting themselves from external threats. However, coffee grounds alone have a problem. Their carbon to nitrogen ratio, or CN ratio, is too high, and if added directly to the soil, it can cause nitrogen starvation, actually killing plants. This is where the second element, eggshells, comes in. Approximately 95% of an eggshell is composed of calcium carbonate. Calcium is an absolutely essential mineral for strengthening plant cell walls and preventing pathogen invasion. However, much of the commercial calcium fertilizer cannot be directly absorbed by plant roots. But when slightly acidic coffee grounds and eggshells mix in the soil, an amazing phenomenon occurs. The acid from the coffee slowly dissolves the eggshells, transforming them into ionized calcium that plants can readily absorb. And the final piece is onion skins. Those brown, papery skins contain an abnormally high concentration of a powerful polyphenol called quercetin. This quercetin acts as a chemical communication signal in the soil, while creating a strong repellent barrier against harmful pests like root knot nematodes that parasitize plant roots and steal nutrients. It also acts like a pheromone, attracting mycorrhizal fungi, the strongest allies that transport phosphates and minerals to plants. Coffee grounds create a home, eggshells provide invincible armor, and onion skins build a defensive communication network. When these three come together, your planter evolves into an autotrophic microbial reactor that continuously self-propagates. This is why an extraordinary yield, 5 times the normal, is produced. So let me tell you the specific process for creating this zero-cost miracle fertilizer at home right now. It's very simple, but there are strict rules you absolutely must follow. They are moisture and ratio. Many people fail when burying kitchen waste directly in the soil because they allow anaerobic bacteria, putrefying bacteria, to multiply in the presence of moisture. I will reveal the perfect steps to guide it towards fermentation, not putrefaction. Step 1. Golden collection and complete drying. The ratio you need to prepare by volume is coffee grounds 5, eggshells 2, onion skins 1. This golden ratio of 5.2.1 is the critical point that maximizes the reproduction rate of microorganisms. And never use the collected waste while it's wet. Leave it in the sun for 48 hours, or if you don't have time, heat it in a microwave at 500 W for 3 to 5 minutes until all moisture has evaporated and it's completely dry and crumbly. Reducing the moisture content to below 5% is an absolute prerequisite for preventing putrefaction. Step 2. Maximizing surface area. Finely crush the dried eggshells and onion skins by hand. For eggshells in particular, it's best to grind them into a powder using a mortar and pestle or a blender. The finer the particles, the exponentially greater the surface area that touches the soil, which increases the speed of calcium ionization by a staggering 79400% of the normal rate. Thoroughly mix the coffee grounds, crushed eggshells, and finely chopped onion skins in a bowl until uniform. With this, your magic powder is complete. Step 3. The sandwich injection method. Do not just sprinkle the finished magic powder on the surface of the soil. Exposure to UV rays will kill off the beneficial microorganisms you've cultivated. Dig up the soil in your planter to a depth of about 10 centimeters, then spread this powder evenly. Cover it again with soil from above, creating a complete sandwich. You are forming a 3-layer structure: soil, magic powder, soil. Finally, water generously to settle the soil. Leave it undisturbed for 14 days without planting anything. Within these 2 weeks, dramatic changes are happening inside the soil. After 14 days, dig up a little of the soil. You should see a faint, white, spiderweb-like growth spread throughout the soil. Congratulations! That is the proof that your soil is completely regenerated. Colonies of filamentous fungi. Once you confirm this white network, all that's left is to plant your desired vegetable seedlings. From that point on, you will experience a continuous series of sights you've never seen before. The roots of the planted seedlings will instantly connect with the white microbial network, beginning to draw up nutrients from the soil with Dyson-like suction power. Stems will grow 1.5 times thicker than usual, leaves will gleam with a deep, lustrous green, and pests won't even dare to approach. And when harvest time comes, you'll witness tomatoes overflowing from a single plant, and enormous, sweet cabbages too large to hold with both hands. And the fertilizer cost for all of this is completely zero. So you are now faced with the ultimate choice. This coming weekend, will you drive to the home improvement store again? Pay thousands of yen to buy specialized vegetable soil and chemical fertilizers, and return to an endless loop of consumption, constantly fearing pests and diseases? Or will you rescue the coffee grounds and eggshells that you would have thrown in the trash today? Implement this zero-cost magic using natural mechanisms with your own hands and monopolize an overwhelming harvest that will make everyone in your neighborhood jealous? The answer must already be clear within you. The true joy of home gardening isn't something you buy with money. It lies in controlling life's system with your knowledge and actions. If this story has changed your perspective on the life growing in your garden or the resources you've been discarding, please consider subscribing to our channel and supporting our work. We continue to unearth histories that someone tried to hide in the true power of nature. Let's cultivate the future together. The next treasure trove of wisdom will open soon. Don't forget to hit the like button.